arrow going through to three zeros like that. Um, they received the screaming maybe by the Germans, Stroll, he had to lead his men on a hill because been so terrified weapons. So that was a word of Patty Flynn. It was a great, great battalion commander of the 9th Division. 9th Division passes through Troina, and we have a 1 battalion of 18 infantry in Randazzo. That's far as the 1st Division advance stopped because the General Patton with armor passing through alongside the 3rd Division, and there was sort of competition between Montgomery and General Patton, who's going to reach Messina. Of course, Messina reached by the Americans first, and General Patton just awaiting the British bloke to arrive over there. So he can say, we are here, welcome you. And so the final campaign been over, and not knowing what it's going to be, we moved to the area where we landed in the Palma de Montechario area in the vineyards. Here I witnessed how they're making wine during the season, where the people in a big area which they're having assembled all that, and they're working with the feet, mashing down so for fermenting. So this is to watching how they're making wine. But we have so much grapes to eat. You pick up one string, you have a full helmet.
This was the point, I think, where General Hubner replaces General Allen.
Yes, this is what's coming. The words come in that Terry Allen and General Roosevelt would be relieved, and so forth. There'd be no division command. This came up from high to lowest level, and the morale went so down for reason you admire your two leaders, Terry Allen and General Teddy Roosevelt, that when the General Hubner came so far, he passed on all through the units, whatnot, not knowing his background, but General Hubner was commander of the 28th Infantry in World War I at the Cantigny. And he was a great soldier, and later was loved by men just as much as we loved Terry Allen and Teddy Roosevelt. And so that time in Sicily, my regimental commander also been replaced, Colonel Bowen, due to the hepatitis yellow jaundice. He was evacuated, and a new commander came in, Jeff.R. Seitz, took over the Regiment 26th Infantry, and there were some other changes made. But when Terry Allen and Teddy Roosevelt depart, General Patton wanted to speak to the 1st Division, and believe me, the feeling was that he was the instrumental to relieve Terry Allen and Teddy Roosevelt, not knowing about that he didn't have anything to do. The word was later that was General Bradley wanted to promote cohesiveness, whatnot, and so forth, to let to the point. But General Patton spoke to us in that Palma de Montechario, walk around, and he knows that he did not have the hearts of the 1st Division, because he walked around and he spoke about the campaign, was set in his quiet, there was no one to say anything. Word was to not say anything or to do, because somebody would say boo, and possibly would be so far. People, you have soldiers, fanatic soldiers who felt, but didn't let to the point. And upon our departure from Sicily, when General Hubner took the division, and General Patton, by being over there, he wanted to see the 1st Division going home. He wrote his marshal uniform so far alongside in Catania, and the place would depart from 2 bases over there. The soldiers stood, look, and there's nobody cheer of anything else, because we've been returning back to England. Matter of fact, I was on an English ship. My units was on an English ship returning to. And so that Sicilian campaign was over. And we lost quite a man over there, because it was hills to going out, and it was very, very hard to take care of the liver. We have the Senegalese attached to us. They let donkeys with water and ammunition to deliver to us in the hills, because you could not have, there was such steep hills and so forth to go out. I was able to see those hills again in 1979 with about 15 of us veterans, quite a few officers in command. So far, we make the trip through Africa. We were unable to go through Algiers because we didn't have a diplomatic relation. However, one officer from 18th Infantry was able to visit Algiers, and he mentioned that when 2,000 years back was went on Islamic rules. after French departed so far. But we went through Tunisia and all the battlegrounds and Sicily, from Palermo all the way down through Licata, Gila, all the way down to Troina and passing through Catania and Augusta. And from there we flew back to Italy and returned back to States. So that was a very memorable tour made by the 1st Division in '79, where we witnessed the territory not knowing. During combat, your objective is you're looking 45 degrees in front, the eyes to look. But then when the war is over, you're able to go 360 degrees to look. But during combat, you look front and possibly a little bit to the flank left or right. Otherwise, your eyes is focused to the front to observe. So that was their results. The campaign, Sicilian campaign was over, not knowing. So somebody been mentioned, maybe we'll be going back to States. We've been greatly surprised. We returned to England, occupied the entire east coast of England, and later come out, receive replacements, equipment and so forth, and undergoing different training so forth, combination with the British. And matter of fact, I spent 3 weeks with a British commando unit they call Duke of Cornwall Light Infantry, sent by my battalion commander to let them know of our experience through Africa and Sicily, since being a platoon sergeant and platoon leader, to have so. This outfit, when passing review, they carry a port arms with the right hand in double time running. That's the passing review. They call the Duke of Cornwall Light Infantry. Met to see all the officers and NCOs, and I was there was 3 of us with other battalions. I was with one company over them. And so I have a jolly good time with those British non-commissioned officers. They yank because I went out to my base camp and bring about 6 cartons cigarettes, whatnot, and I have the money. When I took him to the NCO club, I didn't come up with a change of shillings. I put the paper money on him. To them, that was, even the commanding officer possibly didn't have the amount which we Americans have a financial ability to spend, you know. So that was the final campaign.
Perhaps you can remember some of the training that your battalion went through while in England. Did you participate in that rehearsal for the landing?
Yes, we undergo a training so far too, and the various bungalow torpedo be utilized because will be a running obstacle. The removal, we will have possibly combat engineers in front to remove some obstacles, but there will be a responsibility also on the shoulders of leaders upon landing on it, because there's formidable positions to be facing. And the training, we went out a different formation of training, supporting elements with a combination of movement from our initial training to move different, undergoing training, sort of British styles, 3 men supporting elements, but we sort of adapt later, follow our own method to do, because I don't think I would adapt myself to the British style, as long as the cohesiveness will receive a sniper rifle to be available to have so far, and many new weapons we receive also, but the M1 rifle will still remain the workhorse for you, and carbine and pistol with crew serve weapons individual. And I myself received about some 25 new replacements, because I have a casualty and some of them been eliminated from service, re-echelon elements due to a health condition. And I received Lieutenant Emerson replacements from OCS, so I let him know about what the procedure is going to be upon landing. I told him, I will take it front, you follow, you bring out the rear, so at least I will know. Then upon landing, you'll come to the front. And so before, you want me to carry right now the Normandy invasion?
Yes, why don't we move ahead to
The
that?
final preparation was made by being in England. I developed a pain in the shoulder. I spent some time in the hospital, and I have it during the speech by General Patton, I developed malaria. So that malaria carried me to England, and I've been in a hospital, and I have a relapse again. So finally, I was worrying. The Wheaton battalion commander to get me out of hospital so I can be going with my troops, because I have a relapse. But I was taking Arabin. I was look like a chink. I was yellow completely, and of course, you lost the weight too with having that. By being over there, I visit my regimental commander, Colonel Bowen, who was in a hospital. We received the clothing, and I and equipped, I would say, in decoration. I visit my regimental commander in the hospital, where my cousin was master sergeant at hospital, and he mentioned to Colonel Bowen, he said, I have a cousin in the 26th Infantry, 3rd Battalion, his name is Sergeant Dobol. Uh-huh. So the call came in, report to the hospital, so I flew to I drove with the jeep to the hospital, and I spent on it 3 days with my cousin, and I visited Colonel Bowen. He was yellow completely, and of course he was terminated combat service. He went on his staff to General Eisenhower, who was his secretary, as I understand later. And so I finally was able to rejoin my unit from the hospital and preparation for the Normandy invasion. And being on an English vessel, as a matter of fact, I don't remember even the ship number. That was, who cares less about it, as long as you have a transportation you're going through to landing. And the landing which took place already, we'll see the smoke and shell, because you have to be moved in assault boats, but the time to receive, and hours before we hit the beaches for us, for my battalion to hit, because already progress was going on the right, and shells exploding, smoke, everything else of the 16th Infantry, and some elements from 29th Division attached to the 1st Division participate. You could not see the Rangers, which they went far right, completed storming the Point du Hoc area over there to scale. But finally, upon landing over there to the left of the initial on the Omaha beach, they call Bloody Omaha or Easy Red. To further left was Juno, a British elements, a 56th Brigade. Upon landing on the 3rd day, my mission was to contact the British 56th Brigade, and upon proceeding on the 3rd day, the changes, because it's supposed to be a 15-man an officer, and finally wind up, I was just myself and 2 men to go to contact the British. And of course, the Germans been between us and ours among the Germans, and due to have a paratrooper jacket on me, they thought I was of it about 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning during my mission to contact, and I quickly spot the elements, this machine gun German squad moving into position, and so I have the pleasure to quickly eliminate them at point blank range, because they thought I was one of them, and I quickly noticed which they have a helmet, so that was my another achievement, to eliminate 5 men in a hurry and capture 1. I sent individual to the rear to battalion commander. However, he ran to some more Germans, and the soldier got away from him, but he finally escaped. And I proceed on my own to contact the British elements, and I ran to Hornet's Nest, because I hear the armors moving over there, and that was the German truck